OpenAI just published a blog expanding on what we missed with sycophancy. So if you are not aware, there has been an incident where ChatGPT would be too agreeable. It would say everything you do is perfect and you are not wrong. It would never disagree with you, and it would just reinforce your beliefs. And this can obviously go horribly wrong for 1% of the population who have already strayed. And so this could start an endless loop of going further and further away from reality. And genuinely, it just felt really annoying that it confirms just and agrees with you all the time. So on April 25th, they made some updates that made the AI, the ChatGPT, please the user not just as flattery, but also as validating doubts, fueling anger, urging impulsive actions, and reinforcing negative emotions in ways that were not intended. Beyond just being uncomfortable or unsettling, this also raises issues around mental health, emotional over-reliance, or risky behavior. There is this other blog they wrote a few days ago that explains how this happened. So, you can give feedback to ChatGPT. You can like the message, or I think dislike the message as well, and give this kind of feedback. So they made it rely too much on that feedback, which resulted in this behavior where it just starts agreeing with everything user does and pleasing the user too much. As a result of focusing too much on short-term feedback, GPT-4 skewed towards responses that were overly supportive but disingenuous. They say here they want to make the ChatGPT respectful and useful, but with 500 million people, which is a crazy amount of people, that they have 500 million people using ChatGPT every week, it's hard to just have one personality, one system prompt, satisfy all of the needs, and work for every situation and every person. And I believe the images recently doubled their user base. So that's what Sam Altman said. Now, I don't know if it was temporarily. So maybe if they were at 350 million people or 400, maybe it went to like 600 temporarily or 700, and then it got back to 500 million. But that's a big increase. They have so many users. This blog post probably written by Sam Altman because of the last sentence. We are grateful for everybody who's spoken up about this. This is literally Sam Altman speaking. The way they are dealing with sycophancy is they are refining their core training and fine-tuning techniques. They are building more guardrails to make a model more honest and transparent, and expanding ways for more users to test and give feedback. Also, users will be able to give real-time feedback to directly influence their interactions and choose from multiple default personalities. I'm not sure exactly what this means, but I think real-time feedback, maybe it will look at how it interacts with the user and update its personality and system prompt and general behavior. I do like that OpenAI has been recently pushing towards more honest and transparent model, and they also have the unhinged mode. I hope they have that still. That was really good for some people. We need to go beyond just getting users addicted to the product to use the product as much as possible. I mean, the product should be nice to use on one hand, but needs to be done ethically. And this is a good step to fix this mistake by OpenAI. So it should be honest and transparent. Then in this latest blog, the one that I began the video with, they talk more about their training process, especially the supervised fine-tuning after the pre-training. So in this stage, they have a bunch of ChatGPT generations, or they are written by human who are teaching ChatGPT how to write, what's the best way to write. So they have good examples of how the ChatGPT should write and bad examples of how it shouldn't write. So they are using this reinforcement learning to make ChatGPT more likely to output good examples and less likely to output bad examples. And this is also a difficult thing to do, because when you want to be nice to the user but also honest, what is a good example? And when you are selecting an example, some people would prefer more honesty. For example, for me, I don't mind, I don't want to get, I will not get offended so easily. I would get offended if it's lying to me that I'm great and awesome and confirming all of my beliefs. That's actually, I don't like it a lot more than if it tells the truth. I mean, I don't like it at all. I prefer it to be honest and tell how it is. But on the other hand, the better, the nicer the ChatGPT is talking to users, then more it will have more users. So it's really difficult to strike this balance in the data when you are selecting data, when you are writing the ideal response. It's very difficult to write it. So in this latest update, they introduced an additional reward signal based on user feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down data from ChatGPT. This signal is often useful, but the problem was that this weekend the general strongest signal that was keeping this politeness sycophancy in check. Because as you add more reward signals, the one that was strongest at first gets diluted and its influence gets stretched out. And when testing was done by humans before the launch, some of them noticed that the model felt slightly off. But sometimes these things, it's just too difficult to test and catch every single problem with the model. And once you release to a larger number of people, then some people are gonna find these problems, and then others will also try to get them out of the ChatGPT, and then it's gonna get exposed. After this rollback, they integrated sycophancy evaluations into their process. And by the way, they are also integrating mirroring and emotional reliance testing on into the process, so to make sure these are not misused by ChatGPT. Also, they had a decision to withhold the model because of these testers that reported that it's feeling a bit off, but a lot of users did not find any issues, and their other tests all passed, so it wasn't enough of a reason not to deploy the model. And I think this wasn't big mistake by OpenAI. They quickly retracted it. There was no usually you need people to spend months or years in this conversing with an AI that just confirms their beliefs before it can make significant damage. I think just a few days is not enough, and also probably a lot of people were not exposed to this because early test it was a bit rare, so that even early testers who were testing the model before release weren't able to spot it. So it means that it was relatively rare. That's how I understand this issue. From now on, in some cases, they can introduce additional opt-in alpha testing phase, where if they have these big changes, they just leave it as alpha, and they say that this might have bugs. They have some more of the things that they are gonna do from now on to better test the models. They are also deciding to communicate more proactively, more clearly, because they didn't even announce this update because they believed it's a minor update, which is okay in my opinion. So if the lesson was that they should communicate these updates as well, then they're gonna communicate it. They say it here. They are adding some of them more takeaways, but it's just paraphrasing the same thing. They are just gonna implement more evaluations and tests and safety features. Although I don't think this caused any damage. It was just confirming beliefs a little bit and for a couple days, and that's it. As I said, you probably need like months or years for this to confirm beliefs of somebody to cause damage. So that was the review. Thank you for watching, and you can check my other videos on my channel, and see you next time.